The smile of a daughter is the secret purpose of every father. No one in this world can love a girl more than her father. A father is a son's first hero and a daughter's first love. A father's tears and fears are unseen. His love is unexpressed, but his care and protection remain as a pillar of strength throughout our lives. I may find my prince, but my dad will always be my king. Old as she was, she still missed her daddy sometimes. For father, his daughter is no less than a breath. Fathers, be your daughter's first love, and she'll never settle for anything less. To a father growing old, nothing is dearer than a daughter. A father's job is not to teach his daughter how to be a lady. It's to teach her how a lady should be treated. Daughters always revel in their mother's admiration, and daughters always bask in their father's love. Little daughters are the only people able to soften the hearts of strong men. She did not stand alone, but what stood behind her, the most potent moral force in her life, was the love of her father. A father's job is not to teach his daughter how to be a lady. It's to teach her how a lady should be treated. He sweeps her hair back from her ears. He swings her above his head. He says she is his emerveille. He says he will never leave her, not in a million years. A daughter needs a dad to be the standard against she will judge all men. No one is able to make the female a queen except her father. A father holds his daughter's hand for a short while, but he holds her heart forever. A daughter is a treasure and a cause of sleeplessness. They say that from the instant he lays eyes on her, a father adores his daughter. Whoever she grows up to be, she is always to him that little girl in pigtails. A good father will leave his imprint on his daughter for the rest of her life. The main reason why a daughter needs a dad is to show her that not all boys are like the ones who hurt her. He gives her the best gift a woman can get in this world, protection. And the little girl learns to trust the man in her life. A little girl giggles when she is denied an ice cream by her mother. She knows daddy will get her some later. To her, the name of father was another name for love. The most admirable thing ever has to be a father protecting his daughter. It is admirable for a man to take his son fishing, but there is a special place in heaven for the father who takes his daughter shopping. The greatest thing a father can do for his daughter is to love her mother. One of life's greatest mysteries is how the boy who wasn't good enough to marry your daughter can be the father of the smartest grandchild in the world. A daughter can lead to baldness, but the remainder of the road is just as smooth. There is no place higher than on daddy's shoulders. Fathers and daughters have a special bond. She is always daddy's little girl. Many a man wishes he were strong enough to tear a telephone book in half, especially if he has a teenage daughter. One of the greatest things about daughters is how they adored you when they were little, how they rushed into your arms with electric delight and demanded that you watch everything they do and listen to everything they say. When I come home, my daughter will run to the door and give me a big hug, and everything that's happened that day just melts away. Watching your daughter being collected by her date feels like handing over $1 million Stradivarius to a gorilla. Any astronomer can predict with absolute accuracy just where every star in the universe will be at 11:30 tonight. He can make no such prediction about his teenage daughter. The happiest moment of my life was probably when my daughter was born. My life is a fairy tale because it revolves around a princess, my beautiful daughter. You fathers will understand. You have a little girl. She looks up to you. You're her oracle. You're her hero. And then the day comes when she gets her first permanent wave and goes to her first real party, and from that day on, you're in a constant state of panic. Having a daughter makes you see things in a different way. This is my only girl, so I don't care what it takes to protect her. You can call it what you want to call it. As long as you treat her the same way I treat her, like my princess, I don't mind. I watch my daughter wanting to be like other kids and getting upset that she's not. But I always try and instill in her the idea that she's perfect as she is. A man's daughter is his heart, just with feet, walking out in the world. I took my daughter to the father-daughter dance, and I cried like a little baby. She's 11 years old, so seeing her get dressed up and pretty made me cry. I don't have to prepare to be wrapped around my daughter's finger. I have been wrapped around her little finger since the day she plopped out into this world. When my daughter says, "Daddy, I need you," I wonder if she has any idea that I need her billion times more. The father of a daughter is nothing but a high-class hostage. A father turns a stony face to his sons, berates them, shakes his antlers, paws the ground, snorts, runs them off into the underbrush. But when his daughter puts her arm over his shoulder and says, "Daddy, I need to ask you something," he is a pat of butter in a hot frying pan. Dads immediately fall in love with their little girls and will let them get away with everything. So, moms are going to have to be the disciplinarians when it comes to daughters. My best smile is probably when I'm holding my daughter. I rescind my early statement. I could never fall in love with a girl who regularly poops her pants. I hadn't met my daughter yet. My daughter got me a world's best dad mug, so we know she's sarcastic. My dear father, my dear friend, the best and wisest man I ever knew, who taught me many lessons and showed me many things as we went together along the country byways. I love my father as the stars. He's a bright, shining example and a happy twinkling in my heart. There will always be a few people who have the courage to love what is untamed inside us. One of those men is my father. I love my daddy. My daddy's everything. I hope I can find a man that will treat me as good as my dad. Certain is it that there is no kind of affection so purely angelic as of a father to a daughter. My dad believed in me, even when I didn't. He always knew I could do this. Being a daddy's girl is like having a permanent armor for the rest of your life. My daddy was my hero. He was always there for me when I needed him. He listened to me and taught me so many things, but most of all, he was fun. When my father didn't have my hand, he had my back. My father died many years ago, and yet when something special happens to me, I talk to him secretly, not really knowing whether he hears, but it makes me feel better to half believe it. My father, he was like the rock, the guy you went to with every problem. Daddy, thanks for being my hero, chauffeur, financial support, listener, life mentor, friend, guardian, and simply being there every time I need a hug. I am not ashamed to say that no man I ever met was my father's equal, and I never loved any other man as much. My dad is awesome, but you know what they say? Like father, like daughter. My father has always provided me a safe place to land and a hard place from which to launch. My mother gave me my drive, but my father gave me my dreams. You gotta love dads. At my wedding, when I tripped on my wedding dress and fell flat on my face, Dad said, "Don't worry, you'll do better next time." Fathers just have a way of putting everything together. It doesn't matter who my father was, it matters who I remember he was. I am my father's daughter, and I am not afraid of anything. It was my father who taught me to value myself. There's two things I know for sure. She was sent here from heaven, and she's Daddy's little girl. They don't make men like my daddy anymore. You're the end of the rainbow, my pot of gold. You're Daddy's little girl to have and hold. Things are going to change so fast. I tell you that I'll always want you near. So you'll always know, as long as 1 and 1 is 2, as there could never be a father who loved his daughter more than I love you. Gonna dance with my daughter, spin her around under the lights, 'cause I'm just a father making the most of this moment in time. For all the things my eyes have seen, the best by far is you. You are my hero, and that will never change. You still can dry my tears with just a smile. When times are hard, I know you'll be strong. I'll be there in your heart when you'll carry on. Like moonlight on the water and sunlight in the sky, fathers and daughters never say goodbye. Good night, my angel. Now it's time to dream. Dream how wonderful your life will be. Isn't she pretty? Truly the angel's best. I'm so happy we have been heaven blessed. I want to hold you, protect you from all of the things I've already endured, and I want to show you all the things that this life has in store for you. And I'll always love you the way that a father should love his daughter. From the first breath she breathed, when she first smiled at me, I knew the love of a father runs deep, and I prayed that she'd find you someday. But it's still hard to give her away. I loved her first. Hey little girl, look what you've done. You've gone and stole my heart and made it your own. Life flies by in seconds. You're not a baby, Gracie. You're my friend. Maybe I paint the sky blue. My greatest creation was you. Go on, take on this whole world. But to me, you know you'll always be my little girl. Guns don't kill people. Dads with pretty daughters do. The laugh of a daughter is the favorite symphony of a father. Behind every great daughter is a truly amazing dad. My fingers may be small, but I've got my daddy wrapped around them. Thanks for being the cool parent. Don't tell Mom. There is this girl who stole my heart, and she calls me Daddy. When a daughter is born, an ordinary life of a man turns into an extraordinary life of a father. You can't scare me. I have 2 daughters. Yes, I do have a beautiful daughter. I also have a gun, a shovel, and an alibi. Like father, like daughter. I'm not surprised. My daughter doesn't have any daddy issues, but I guarantee her boyfriends will.